Here's what I want to talk about, because we were talking about Tinder and how it's affecting young men.
Yeah.
And so we actually have we have a bunch of different articles about like men working, about emotional intelligence. I want to talk about Tinder because I've been thinking about this thing, and I want to hear your thoughts on what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
There's a bunch of different things. Like the first thing we we're just talking about is like there's that Gillette commercial.
Right.
Where it's toxic masculinity is bad. And one of the scenes was this guy is like standing up against a building or something.
Okay.
And a woman walks by, and then he makes that face like, ooh. And then he walks towards her, and then this other dude walks up and puts his hand to stop him. You know, have you seen it?
I don't remember this scene, but
so it's become
I've only seen it like once.
It's become a meme now where like they use this dude who stops the man in like a variety of different circumstances.
Whoa.
Yeah, don't do it. What the reason that bothered me is because like the dude didn't do anything out of turn. Like he saw a pretty lady and said, ooh, and he went to go talk to her. Is the implication he was going to like harass her? Fine, I get it. But that's not what we saw. What we saw was a guy saying, don't interact with other human beings.
If they're female.
I guess.
Because he's a male interacting with a male. So technically
it was like this.
He's interacting with someone.
But the
the
crazy thing about it is it's always so pessimistic. Like,
true.
Dude, the crazy thing to me is, man, if you're dude, man, bro, dude, if you're a guy and you see an attractive human being and you're outside, you go up to him. Hey, how's it going?
That's literally how I met who I'm with now, and she's great, and I regret nothing.
But what if a dude came out of that cafe and put his hand in front of your chest and said, "Whoa, don't do it, bro"?
I would have walked around him. Excuse me.
Yeah, whoa, don't touch me, dude. I'd be like, "Oh, get your hands off me. What you touching me for?"
Don't touch me. And it's funny because my manager at the time was like, oh, you want to take this? And I'm like, yes, I do. Excuse me. I was working at a shop, and she walked in, and I was just like, oh, wow, I need to talk to this girl.
So wait. You were working at a business?
I was, yeah.
So that's sexual harassment.
I know. It's even worse, right?
Oh, dude, you're fired. You're fired. You're out, right?
It's okay. I quit. I quit the next day. I'm like, I got to follow this girl.
But so basically, like seeing that, you know, I'm thinking of that video. I don't know if you've ever seen it, 10 Hours of Walking Through New York as a Woman.
I saw that video, yeah.
And it's like this woman is walking through New York. You guys have all probably seen it. And some of the instances that they were complaining about was a guy saying like, how do you do?
Hello.
Yeah, one of them was literally hello.
Yep.
Like, whoa.
Oh, how dare you say hello to me?
Heavens.
I mean,
so what is
there was some guys catcalling, you know, I get it.
Of course.
Like,
and like, that's stupid. But some of them were like, how's it going? Have a nice day.
It's like the Tinder equivalent of super liking someone, though, isn't it?
No,
it's just... Boop,
boop. What is a guy supposed to do then? If you literally can't say hello to a woman outside, you can't even walk up to a woman without a guy stopping and going, whoa, bro, toxic masculinity. So now everything's being relegated to the internet.
Yep.
And now I want to get into my hypothesis on Tinder dating and how it's affecting, destroying everything.
Yeah, tell me all about it.
Check this out. I think I've told you this before, but let's talk about it. So you get women who do online dating right now, and you have this culture being bred by this mainstream, you know, feminist narrative of men shouldn't talk to women at all. As much, and I know they'll deny it if you say like you shouldn't even talk to. No, of course not. Just don't harass. But all the media they show us is literally a guy just like talking, right?
Not all of it, but I definitely know what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. Well, they exaggerate.
Totally.
You can't say hello.
Well, what they're showing you is probably the worst they can find, you know.
And it's not even that bad. Not all of it. Some of it's bad. Some of it's bad.
It's not
but
that bad.
So here's what happens. I was thinking about this because I was talking to this young dude, and he was like 24, and he was a virgin.
24 and a virgin.
Yeah, dude. There's like some ridiculous number in 2012, I think it was. Something like 18 to 24-year-old men, like 30% were virgins. And that was years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and now the number is people under the age of 29, 30% haven't had any relations, adult relations, in the past year.
30% of 29-year-olds.
And under. No adult relations in the past year.
Oh, okay.
But there's
past year, so they're not necessarily virgins.
But there's speculation they are based on the previous data that, you know, since that last study came out, we're seeing a massive spike in a lack of adult activity, to say the least.
Okay.
Here's what I think is happening.
Okay.
I was talking to this young guy, and he was complaining about how he couldn't get dates. And I'm like, are you on Tinder? And he's like, of course. He's on OkCupid, Tinder. He does all the online dating stuff.
Okay.
And so this actually plays into one of the reasons I think men are failing to launch and take on responsibilities. He's in college. All of the women around him, the same age, before Tinder, before the internet, before social media,
Yeah.
they would only know him and his friends.
Right. And
So
the
they're-
circles he was in.
Right. So if that woman was going to be in a relationship, it was going to be with a dude who was around the same age as her,
Right.
around the same status as her, income and everything. And that was it.
Yeah.
Now everything's changed. Now, if you look at OkCupid's data, you have most guys want to message 22-year-olds, no matter how old they get.
No matter what.
No matter what. It's like it barely fluctuates. Like 60-year-old guy, 22. 50-year-old guy, 22. 70, 22.
Wow.
Women go for men around their own age for the most part.
Okay.
But check this out.
So even the 22-year-old?
Yeah. Presumably. Based on
Okay.
it scales up.
Okay.
But here's what's happening. It's not about age at all, in my opinion. This is my hypothesis, and I could be wrong. I'm just looking at the data. So you get these 22-year-old women who go on Tinder, and they're swiping, they can basically swipe on whoever they want. Like, this is how the game works with online dating. Women have all the men line up, and they just like the guys they like, and they get to message them. That's just how it is.
Okay.
Women are the ones who get messaged. Men are the one who message. So men go on Tinder, and they swipe everybody, and then hope some woman swipes them back.
That they're actually interested in.
Right. Well, the women get to be like, I like this guy, swipe, and then they message him.
Yeah.
Guys are just like, fingers crossed, hope she messages me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or hope she likes me. So that dude I was talking to, I'm like, I think I know why he's a virgin and can't get a date. He's broke, in college, in debt. They're both on Tinder.
Right.
She looks at his profile. Young, broke, in college. He's kind of attractive. Maybe she'll swipe on him.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden comes tall, dark, and handsome 33-year-old with a brand new car. It's a Honda Civic 2012. And he lives in a crappy two-bedroom apartment in,
But he's got his own place. He's got his own car.
Boom,
He's
there
got
it
a
is.
job. He's got money in the bank.
And so these older guys will swipe on this young, attractive woman because they don't care. She's hot. Oh, yeah, swipe. And then she sees him and she's like, oh, yeah, cool. He's got his own car.
Yeah.
He's got his own apartment. Swipe. And they message and he goes, and now let's just assume it was based on appearance only.
Okay.
She knows nothing about age, nothing about income. She swipes on the 24-year-old dude in college and she swipes on this dude.
Okay.
And they both message.
Okay.
Dude says, want to come over to my mom's basement and hang out while I play Xbox? And she's like, no. And he goes, well, I'm broke. And she's like, maybe. Then all of a sudden the other message pops up. You want to come to my apartment in the hipster neighborhood in New York?
And watch movies on my big screen TV?
Watch movies on my 42-inch TV because it was on sale at Walmart. What you going to pick? Mom's house? College dorm?
No, just gonna pick the established dude.
Right, exactly. So even if it was the dude's in college and he's got his own dorm, it's like, my dorm mates will be gone by 9 and you can come over. And she might say, sure, right?
Yeah.
But women have all the men lining up and they can choose whoever they want for the most part, not all women.
Right.
Obviously. But then you end up with, the way I see it, a disproportionate amount of college men competing now with a wider radius of successful established men.
Yeah.
What Tinder and OkCupid has done is made it so that the dating pool for women becomes infinite.
Basically, yeah.
They can pick any city they want. And then what happens when you get a dude who's 35? He makes $50K a year. Not a big salary guy. Maybe he works for BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
But he does have a little bit of savings and he says, we can take a trip or we can take a helicopter tour. It's not that expensive. It's a couple $100. And then she gets the broke dorm guy who's like, me and my dorm mates are going to hang out and smoke pot.
Or I've saved up a couple weeks of my paycheck from the ice cream shop I work at. And
Not even. He's in college. He's broke. He's in debt.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, maybe.
He's got nothing. I know a lake we can walk around.
So this, I think, contributes to men's failures to launch. Because now I'm talking to this dude, and I'm like, how are you 24 and you've never hooked up? Like, what happened?
And even that, you asking him, that's like people get defensive. That feels almost like an attack.
No, this dude, he was interested.
I know, but just it feels like as an average, if you were to ask somebody who was in that situation, and you go, well, what happened? Why are you like? What's wrong with you? That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like over here, anyway. Like, well, you just asking him that. It's like,
but he brought it up to me.
Right. No, and this guy wants to figure it out.
Yeah, he wants to improve himself and figure out why he's failing to date. And I think, the first simple mathematical reason is just that. It's that before mobile phones and apps and social media, a woman would look at the immediate men in her social circle, in high school or college.
Right.
But now it's anywhere. You've expanded your range from like the few blocks around your high school to literally. I mean, when I was in high school, I was on, I didn't go to high school, but when I was high school age, we had MySpace.
Oh, MySpace.
Dude, I was all of a sudden, like, the girls in my neighborhood didn't matter anymore.
Right.
Because I could go on MySpace and see literally every single girl in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah,
and be
true.
like, hey, how's it going?
Hey, wow.
And then the message back, hey, how's it going? And I would drive, 20 miles and out into the suburbs
What's
or whatever.
20 miles? You got a car, you can drive it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that was when I had a car when I was like 18. But even before that, when I was like 16, 17, I'd be like, you come pick me up. But I was like this arrogant skateboarder who's like all attractive, and all the girls were like, oh, and they wanted to come pick me up. No, but I will say, in all actuality, it was probably just attrition.
Yeah.
Like, I'll message 50 girls, and one of them will give me a ride, and they would, right? So, so it worked out. But that's always been the game since social media. It's like, message as many women as possible, cross your fingers.
Okay.
But so that, I think, really started to change things. Now you've got guys who haven't had to be responsible and interact with women and try to compete to be something of value in society.
Okay.
I think a big factor in whether or not men become, like, strong and charismatic has to do with, well, I shouldn't say I'd say a part of it has to do with them trying to impress someone else, typically a woman,
That's
how
true. That's interesting you say that.
How many guys have thrown them off a building on a skateboard when, like, the hot chick walks by? How many guys, are like, yo, look at me, and they try and do some like amazing feat to impress
it doesn't
her.
even have to be for a girl. I mean, it's something to be said about being admired or being, looked at like, oh, wow, that person did something awesome. Like, right. I admire them, and that feeling is awesome. Like, we talked about it the other day. When was that first time that you remember being like a strong, confident man,
Yeah.
And I said, it was like when I went on stage for the first time and played music live, it was like.
How old are you?
I think I was 21.
Wow.
At the
so
time.
you were older.
I was older, yeah. I was at high school. I was short and small. And I didn't really have a lot of friends. I played D&D and Magic,
So that was it. You were done.
In the corner of school, and I didn't do anything, and I didn't think about girls. That was not on my agenda. And then, I didn't go to college either. I went straight to New York and started working, but it was that feeling that I got. I was like, suddenly, and it's being admired. People want to be admired. They want to be wanted. And that's what
socially
really
acceptable.
Also, yeah, they want to be accepted in the group. So like if you're a skateboarding group, and you have like that one kid that just sucks, and it's like when he lands that first kickflip, everybody in the park is going to be like, yeah, like you got your kickflip. And it's like, that's the best feeling in the world. And that kid will forever be changed from that one moment,
You that's a really good point too, because I think it's not just the dating apps; it's the digital world in general.
Yeah,
Because people are isolating themselves into smaller and smaller tribes.
Yep.
And you're less likely to interact with people. So when I would go to the skate park, it was a park in general. It was surrounded by tennis courts. So we would go skate at the local park, and all of the other kids from the area would be hanging out there too for whatever reason, playing basketball, playing tennis or whatever. A few of them did play tennis. Don't ask me. It was kind of weird.
Hey, I played tennis. What are you saying?
But then most of the people who were hanging out at the park, because I grew up, there's this park called Vidum Park over by Midway in southwest side of Chicago.
Okay.
People would be hanging out. And it would be really funny too, and like some chick would come and like chill in the tennis court and like get in the way. And it's like they're just there because that's where everyone hangs out. Yeah. But now if you're hanging out online with like video games with your buddies, it's very insular. It's very isolated.
Yeah, it's polarizing people into like little tiny groups of different like pods of ideas, and you get stuck there.
Now take that factor that these subcultures are very much like you can be in your house and not go out into the world, especially considering the fact that a lot of video games and online platforms like very few women play. And then you have women on Tinder, and all of a sudden it's the older guys, the next generation, the older millennials, who are easily just, they've got cash, they got a car, and they're like, hey, lady, and swipe.
They're done playing video games.
So what do you think's going to happen in 10 years when it's like the scale of men who are not in relationships and not having families is going up and up and up? If you were concerned about the birth rate now being bad because we're not at replacement levels, what do you think's going to happen in 20 years?
Well, it's just like he was saying the other day on the podcast, it's just like, guys are, they're, I forget what he said. I'm trying to think of
Jack Murphy.
Yeah, no, Jack Murphy, but I'm trying to think of what he said exactly.
And what was the topic?
It's just about men being men, being allowed to be men, basically. And
well, let's do this. Let's start a new segment. Let's grab some super chats.
Okay, yeah, true.
And then we'll jump into the next story about how it's actually this modern feminism. So I thought it would be, we didn't actually plan that one out. It was just kind of like
talking about
online. As we were getting into, we got a bunch of these stories about like how it's not just about men. It's about how schools don't teach you to be in control or aware of your emotions. And this has nothing to do with dudes. It has to do with women too. And so you end up with extremists in politics who are not self-aware, don't care about you, are not empathetic, and they go around screeching because they have no idea what they're feeling or why.
Me.
Right, totally. And so this is a contributing factor to this. So thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., sometimes an hour or two. And we do have a full live recorded version of the show that includes a lot of comments and smaller segments you probably don't see. If you want to check that out, you can watch live at 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, or become a member of this channel. And for $5 a month, you get full access to all of the recorded podcasts. Every day after the show, we make them available in the community section of this YouTube channel. So don't forget to subscribe and stick around for more segments and more shows Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all in the next show.